So the first one comes from Karen Muntzing. Hope I got your name right there, Karen. She says, how many information dissemination points should the church have? If more than one, how is the information shared kept consistent according to the form, language, etc.? So here's the thing. The typical church person, or typical person in general, needs to hear about an opportunity 3 to 7 times before they're going to respond. Now, the challenge is that with church attendance averaging somewhere in the ballpark of about 2 times a month, according to recent statistics, we need to be getting information out in multiple ways so that we can reach the greatest number of people. So, what you've got to do is look at your church and see how they currently are getting information on a regular basis, because that's going to give you an idea of exactly how you need to be sharing with those people. So I would start by making a list of all the options that are available to you. So as you're looking over who you're trying to reach, what ways could you use? Email, social media, websites, personal invitations, text messaging, bulletins, church announcements, that type of thing. Make sure that list contains just the things that your current church members are using to get information. And then think about what are ways that people in our community are using. And if they're the same ways, if you've got similar lists, I would target those things that are similar because it allows you to cover ground on both sides. Think about who it is you're reaching, how they're getting their information. So which communication methods on that list are being used by the group of people that you're trying to reach? And so these are the dissemination points, in your words, the dissemination points that you should use for that event. And the reason for that is you want to reach as many people as possible with the pertinent information. Now here's an example, is if you're trying to reach retired people with an event that is for them, I would go the personal invitation route, possibly written invitations, something like that, because the chances of them responding to things like email, website promotions aren't very high. But youth, on the other hand, they want to have text messages. They aren't probably going to answer a phone call for anything. Some of them may respond to email, but definitely social media and text messaging would be the way to go. And you know which ones of those to use because you know how that group is responding currently, how they get that information, and you then leverage those communication methods. So the second part of your question is how to keep information consistent between the different promotion types, or that's me at least kind of giving you a quick synopsis of what it is that you've asked. I do this by starting with a Word doc or a Google doc, and I put down all the pertinent information that I feel like we need to have conveyed about this promotion. It's a good starting place, and I include things like, what are the event goals? What are we trying to accomplish? What are the details? All those little things that sometimes if you're putting together a promotion, it's amazing. I did a promotion for someone this last week, and I forgot to put the address of where the event was happening because I hadn't filled out my whole list. So it's something that even if you do this all the time, it's easy to forget. So goals, your details. I go so far as to write a short description of the event, something that is inviting but nice and concise. And then I do a long description of the event that if I've got a little more space, say someone in a verbal announcement or in a bulletin with a little more space, that they could use that long description of the event. And then I make sure that I've got a clearly articulated call to action. I want to make sure that anytime I promote something, I've made it very clear what it is I want that person to do as a next step. Is it register? Is it call for information? What is that next step I want them to take? Okay, and then I put that document someplace where I can reference it often. Put it on a bulletin board, I post it on a computer, I place it someplace that I'm not going to miss it. Because anytime I think about this event, anytime I think about promoting this event, I want to make sure that I'm using the resources I've already written. There's nothing worse than starting over each and every time. It's a great way, if you've got it written down, to continue to reuse those pieces of information. You can add things, you can take things away, but it gives you a source where you can start from and know that it's a good reference point, and you have all the information then in one place.